Alrighty, I think we're ready to go. Alrighty. Think we're all set here? Yep. Okay, so before class, what we're going to do is what we normally do before class right now. We pray for the devotees and everybody in Ukraine and in Russia. And therefore, we're going to chant the prayers to the Lord Nrsimhadev. I think that's really important because that's really absorbing a lot of us in our prayers every day. How so many devotees and other people are suffering unnecessarily due to the psychopathology of some leaders in our society. Not in our movement, don't worry. The leaders of the society in general. Some countries, which shall remain nameless. Singamatim, Shanambrapa joy, Singamatim, Shanambrapa joy. I'm gonna come alive and pray and come to sing. Ganita, Hiranya Kasi Putano Bringa. Sawatrita, Nanahadi Rupa, Jaya Gudi Sade, Jaya Gudi Sade, Jaya Gudi Sade, Tavakara Kamala, Marina Kama Buddha sing. Ganita, Ranya Kasi Putano Bringa. Isawatrita, Nanahadi Rupa, Jaya Gudi Sade, Jaya Gudi Sade, Jaya Gudi Sade, Navakara Kuma. Pray to come and sing. Dalita, Hiranya Kasi Putano Bringa. Isawatrita, Nanahadi Rupa, Jaya Gudi Sade, Ade, Jaya Gudi Sade. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ati Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ati Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Ati Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Haribo, 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 Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paramacharya, Suteta, Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Chalana, Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Dantakoti, Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prabhupada Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadada Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Sayam Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Ki Jai, Mathuram Ki Jai, Jagadada Sami Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Srimati Lasa Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Haribo. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste, Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhajani Nivasesha, Shunya Padi Paschatya, Deja Tarde. So, we're going to continue with our study of the Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. Yesterday we had an amazing festival for Gaur Purnima, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance with Abhishek. I gave 2 classes, and then we had a play last night, and kirtans, and Krishna Katha. Pretty amazing program. So today we're getting back to our regular program, which is reading the Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. We're on the we're on the Anchalila, first chapter, and we're starting with text 33 yesterday, or the day before yesterday. We did 1 to 33. And we read about Lord Chaitanya and Shivananda saying, giving mercy to a dog. This is really important. And, of course, we should always aspire to become dogs of a Vaishnava. And in this way, we get the mercy and affection. One gets the affection and mercy of a Vaishnava. One has it made. That's all you gotta do. And, of course, one of the best ways to get the affection and mercy of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, is to present Krishna consciousness to others, or attempt to bring Krishna consciousness to others in some way or other, or assist those who are bringing Krishna consciousness to others. In this way, you're actually pleasing His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Of course, at the same time, you got to follow these 4 regulated principles and chant a certain mantra, which we don't know which mantra that is. No, that's the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also the Panchatattva Maha Mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shirvaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Panchatatva Ki Jai. Okay, on that happy note, let's go on to the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, continue with the Antya Lila, the final pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So Omeganat Miranda Shah Gadanjana Shlakaya Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigaravena Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master's divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. You better believe that we are all blind in the darkness of ignorance, and if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada's mercy, nothing would happen to us spiritually, at least myself. Okay, so on that happy note, let's go to the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. We'll share the screen. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, we're on text 33 of the Antya Lila of the Sri Caitanya Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm thinking of the Chaitanya Shikshamrita, which is another book by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which one day we may get a chance to read online too, after we get finished with all of Prabhupada's books. So, Ache Divyan Lila, Kare Sachira Nandana, Ukurake Krishna Kahana Karila Mochana. Such are the transcendental pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi. He even delivered a dog simply by inducing it to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna. Of course, that dog really got Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association because that dog got the love, the affection, the connection with Lord Chaitanya's dearmost devotee, Shivananda Saint. So that's the point. You become a dog of a devotee, and then the Lord will pay attention to you. That's all. That's all you got to do. And, we want to become the master, but basically we should become the servant. And then Lord Chaitanya says, oh, I recognize that person. Even if the person happens to be a dog. Remember that. Isn't that amazing? It's all you got to do is please Krishna's devotee, have an affectionate relationship to Dati Pratigranati Guyamakyati Krichani Bhakti Boshate Chaiva with Krishna's pure devotee, and you got it made. No austerities. Ta-da! No these fancy rituals or mudras or anything like that. You got it made. Ouch. I just hit my head on my bookcase. A little bit too much bhava there, Maharaj. So, Eta Prabhu Agnaya Rupa Aila Brindavana Krishna Lila Nataka Karite Aila Bala. Meanwhile, following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami returned to Vrindavan. He desired to write dramas concerning the pastimes of Lord Krishna. This is a wonderful part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vrindavane nate kararamba karila Mangala charanandiri shloka tatai lakila. In Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami began to write a drama. In particular, he composed the introductory verses to invoke good fortune. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes from the Nataka Chandrika, wherein it is written, Prastavanayas tu mukena di kaya subhavaha Ashira maskriya vastu nirdesham yatam manta Astavir dasavir yukta kilva dvadasha bi. Padahai Chandra Naman Gita Prayo Mangalarta Padojvala Mangalam Chakra Kamala Chakora Kumuda Dikam. Similarly, in the 6th chapter of the Sahitya Darpana text 282, it is stated, Ashirachana Samyukta Stutiryasmat Prayukjate Devadvija Nripadinam Tasman Nanditi Sangyata. The introductory portion of a drama which is written to invoke good fortune is called Nandi Shloka. So that was the form of dramas in those particular days. Nowadays, of course, dramas are written a little bit differently. Because you want to invoke good fortune, especially if you're a devotee of the Lord. You're saying, by the mercy. Just like before class, we try to invoke good fortune by what? Chanting Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra and all sorts of other poems or prayers like Om Gana Timiranda Shah, etc. Or Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, etc. Pate Chalaya Se Natakera Katanabhavite Katacha Karya Kichu Lagila Likite. On his way to Gauda Desha, Rupa Goswami had been thinking of how to write the action of the drama. Thus he had made some notes and begun to write. E mati duibai Gauda Desha Yaila Gaudayasi Anupamera Ganga Prapti Hoila. In this way, the two brothers, Rupa and Anupama, reached Bengal, but when they arrived there, Anupama died. Anupama was the younger brother of Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis. And of course, it was very sad that he passed away in such a way like that. Of course, he was the father of Srila Jiva Goswami. Formerly, when a person died, it was commonly said that he had attained the shelter of Mother Ganges, even if he did not die in the bank of the Ganges. It is customary among Hindus to carry a dying person to a nearby bank of the Ganges, for if one dies in the bank of the Ganges, his soul is considered to reach the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, wherefrom the Ganges flows. Rupa Goswami Prabhu Pashe Garila Gamana Prabhurike Dikite Tanra Utkantita Manta. Rupa Goswami then departed to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for he was very eager to see him. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. Anupamera lagi tanra kitchu vilamba hila bhaktagana pasahila lagna paila. There was some delay because of the death of Anupama, and therefore when Rupa Goswami went to Bengal to see the devotees there, he could not get in touch with them because they had already left. In other words, that whole group had gone before him because he was delayed, I guess, arranging for the funeral of his brother. Udya Deshe Sachabamapura Name Grama Ekoratri Se Grame Karila Vishrama. In the province of Orissa, there is a place known as Sachabamapura. Srila Rupa Goswami rested for a night in that village on his way to Jagannath Puri. There's a place known as Sachabamapura in the district of Katak in Orissa. It is near the village known as Janka de Pura. Ratre swapne deke eka divya rupa nare samukhe asisha jna tilavaho kripakare. While resting in Sachabamapura, he dreamed that a celestially beautiful woman came before him and very mercifully gave him the following order. Amara nataka pratak karaharachana amara kripate nataka haibe vilakshana. Write a separate drama about me, she said. By my mercy it will be extraordinarily beautiful. Wow. Wow. So of course that's called the Lalita Madhava, that was written separately about Krishna's pastimes and Dwarka. So Krishna divided the Lalita Madhava and the Vidagna Madhava. Originally it was one work, and he divided it into two works. Swapna deke rupa goshani karila vichara sajama maragya pratak nataka kadibara. After having that dream, Srila Rupa Goswami considered it is the order of Satyabhama that I write a separate drama for her. Now, one thing we should understand about Satyabhama, you may say, what about Rukmini? She's the first queen that Krishna married, right? Before that, Krishna was a brahmachari. What kind of brahmachari? Dancing with girls in Vrindavan. But that he was because he was never agitated materially. So anyway, so he got married to Rukmini. So why isn't it that Rukmini ordered him to write a separate drama about Dwarka? Well, the point is that Satyabhama is the direct expansion of Srimati Radharani. And Rukmini is the direct expansion of Chandravali. Of course, Chandravali is also an expansion of Srimati Radharani, so these are all from pastimes. So, Satyabhama being in essence of the same mood as Srimati Radharani, which is Bhama, which means left-handed wife, just like Radharani was left-handed gopi. Left-handed means not that someone writes with their left hand, but they actually are ostensibly argumentative, angry sometimes to give pleasure to the beloved. So Satyabhama was like that with Krishna. She would get angry sometimes. In the Caritamrta, there's an elaborate description of Satyabhama's anger towards Krishna at one particular point. And even in the Bhagavatam, we have Satyabhama nagging and nagging and nagging Krishna, get me a parijata plant. And Krishna had to take a parijata plant from the heavenly planets without the permission of the demigods to satisfy Satyabhama. He was nagged by her, but he loves to be nagged by Satyabhama. So, in other words, Satyabhama is a direct expansion of Srimati Radharani, and therefore the Lalita Madhava is about her. I mean, there's other things in Lalita Madhava, but it's basically culminates in the understanding of the non-difference and difference simultaneously, but the non-difference between her, that is Satyabhama, and Srimati Radharani. And it's a wonderful drama. If you really want to hear that drama, then go on ISKCONDesiretree.com and look up my name. If you don't know what my name is, that's a problem. Look up Bir Krishna Goswami, and you'll see narrations under a particular heading of the audios of Bir Krishna Goswami. And one of the narrations that I have done, and of course I am not the author of the book, but I have done a narration on the Vidagdha Madhava and the Lalita Madhava. You can listen to both, and also the Ananda Vrindavan Champu, and also part of the Gopal Champu, and also other literatures too. So it's very enlivening. If you have any spare time, you can listen while you're driving a car. You can listen to this while you're cooking. You can listen to so many things, and you'll be very enlivened in Krishna consciousness by hearing these different pastimes. So let's continue. Brajapura Lila Katra Kariyachi Gatana Dvivaga Karyeve Karimurachana. I have brought together in one work all the pastimes performed by Lord Krishna in Vrindavan and Dwarka. Now I shall have to divide them into two dramas. Yeah. Bhavate Bhavate Sigraila Nilachale Ashiyutarila Haridasa Vasastale. Thus absorbed in thought, he quickly reached Jagannath Puri. When he arrived, he approached the hut of Haridas Thakur. So, of course, for those of you who don't know, and I think most of you do know, that Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family, and yet he was appointed by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to be the Nam Acharya. That means the person who sets the example of chanting the Lord's holy names. And he chanted 3 lakhs of names a day. More than that, actually. 3 lakhs means 300,000. A lakh is 100,000. Harirasa Thakur Tanre Bahu Kripa Kaila, Tumi Ashive More Prabhu, Ye Kahila. Out of affectionate love and mercy, Haridas Thakur told Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already informed me that you would come here. Upalaboga Teki, Haridas Sere Dekite, Pratidina Sena Prabhu, Aila Chambite. After seeing the Upalaboga ceremony at the Jagannath temple, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would regularly come to see Haridas every day. Thus he suddenly arrived there. Rupa Dandavatkare, Haridas Kahila, Haridas Se Mila Prabhu, Rupe Alingila. When the Lord arrived, Rupa Goswami immediately offered his obeisances. Haridas informed the Lord, "This is Rupa Goswami offering you obeisances," and the Lord embraced him. Imagine that, getting an embrace, a hug from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Phew. Maybe one day we will be so fortunate. Haridas Rupe Lana Prabhu Silai Kastane Kushala Prashna Kishna Goshti Kaila Katakshane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then sat down with Haridas and Rupa Goswami. They inquired from one another about auspicious news and then continued to talk together for some time. Let's see. Ishtagoshti means talking together, according to Prabhupada here. Sanatana Vartadyabe Goshani Puchila Rupakai Tarasange Dekanaharila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired about Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami replied, "I did not meet him. Ami Gangapate Alana Tinho Rajapate Uthoiva Marateka Nahila Tanra Sate." I came by the path on the bank of the Ganges, where Sanatana Goswami came by the public road. Therefore we did not meet. Prayage Shunilun Tenho Gelo Vrinavane Anupamera Ganga Prapti Kaila Nivedane. In Prayag, I heard that he had already gone to Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami next informed the Lord about the death of Anupama. Rupatahan Vasatiya Goshani Chalila Goshani Rasangi Bhakta Rupere Milila. After allotting residential quarters there to Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, and all of the Lord's personal associates met Srila Rupa Goswami. So it's interesting. One thing you may notice, or you will notice, is that Rupa Goswami did not go into the temple. Oh my God. Why didn't he go into the temple? Well, he was honoring the local custom, which local custom was not a very good custom. Local custom was that anyone who is not born in a Hindu family, or anyone who had associated or worked for people who are not Hindus, or what to speak of, took a non-Hindu name like W. Akash and Shakara Malik, they were no longer qualified to enter the temple. So that was the procedure, ritual at that particular time. Unfortunately, a similar ritual exists right now. Of course, it's not quite so delineated. Right now, the ritual is if you're not born in India, you have an Indian body, you can't go to see the deities, even if you happen to be a first-class devotee. It doesn't matter. So Rupa Goswami, observing the social etiquette, because he didn't want to disturb those whose minds were attached to material things, observing that, he never went to the temple. Neither did Sanatana Goswami, neither did Haridas Thakur. Aradina Mahaprabhu Sabhavakta Lana Rupe Milaila Sabhaya Kripata Kariya. On the next day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again met Rupa Goswami, and with great mercy, the Lord introduced him to all the devotees. Sabhara Chanana Rupa Karila Pandana Kripakari Rupe Sabe Kaila Lingana. Srila Rupa Goswami offered his respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of them all, and all the devotees by their mercy embraced him. Advaita Nityananda Tamara Dvijane Prabhu Kai Rupa Kripa Kara Kaya Mane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu, you should both show your mercy wholeheartedly to Rupa Goswami. Toma Dunhara Kripate in Harahayuta Cheshate Yate Vivarate Parena Krishna Rasa Bhakti. May Rupa Goswami, by your mercy, become so powerful that he will be able to describe the transcendental mellows of devotional service. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had Rupa Goswami's mission in mind from the first time he met Rupa Goswami. Actually, even before he met Rupa Goswami, since knew Rupa Goswami is a Nityasiddha devotee, was sent down in this world to accomplish or carry out Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission of establishing the holy places, writing literatures about the transcendental mellows of devotional service, and renovating the holy places and constructing temples. Anyway, because his ontological position, his spiritual name is Rupa Manjari. A Manjari, what is a Manjari? Oh, you hear this name. Some people have the name Manjari, Rupa Manjari, Kripa Manjari. So Manjari is a young girl, called pre-pubescent, who serves Radha and Krishna in their most intimate, loving exchanges. It's a very exalted position. Most exalted position. Gaudiya Vidudya Yata Prabhura Bhakta Gana Saparahayla Rupa Snehera Bhajana. Thus Rupa Goswami became the object of love and affection for all the devotees of the Lord, including those who came from Bengal and those who resided in Orissa. Pratidina se rupe karena milane nan mandiraye prasadapana dena dvit jane. Every day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to see Rupa Goswami, and whatever prasadam he received from the temple he would deliver to Rupa Goswami and Haridas Thakur. So in other words, even though he could not go to see Lord Jagannath came to see him and brought prasadam. And of course Lord Chaitanya is non-different from Lord Jagannath. Ishtagoshti dunha sane kari katakshane madhyana karite prabhu karila gavana. He would talk for some time with them both and then leave to perform his noontime duties. E matapati dhina prabhura vyavahara prabhu kripa pana rupera ananda pura. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealings with them continued every day. Thus, receiving the transcendental favor of the Lord, Srila Rupa Goswami felt unlimited pleasure. Bhaktagana lanakaila Gundicha Marjana Aitotdasi Kaila Vanya Bhojana. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking all his devotees with him, performed the Gundicha Marjana, washing and cleansing of the Gundicha temple, he went to the garden known as Aitota and accepted prasadam at a picnic within the garden. So Lord Chaitanya even has picnics. Prasadakaya Hari Bale Savabhakti Deki Harirasa Rupera Harashita Mana. When Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami saw that all the devotees were accepting prasadam and chanting the holy name of Hari, they both were greatly pleased. Govinda Dwara Prabhura Shesha Prasada Paila Preme Mata Twijana Nachite Lagila. When they received the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prasadam through Govinda, they respected it, and then they both began to dance in ecstasy. Haribol. Aradina Prabhu Rupe Miriyava Sila Sarvagya Shiromane Prabhu Kahite Lagila. On the next day, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Srila Rupa Goswami, the omniscient Lord spoke as follows. Omniscient means he knows everything and everyone in all places, in all circumstances, in all times, past, present, and future, as Krishna says in the Gita. Krishna Rebahira Nahi Kari Havraja Kuite Vrajachari Krishna Kavu Nayanak Kahante. Do not try to take Krishna out of Vrindavan, for he does not go anywhere else at any time. Oh my God, what does that mean? Because in the Krishna book we read about Krishna leaving Vrindavan with a krura, and then doing so many things like killing the elephant, Kuvalyapita, breaking the bow, killing Kamsa, killing the wrestlers, Mushnika and Chodora, along with Balaram. So what does it mean? That means Krishna never leaves Vrindavan in his original aspect. Of course, he may not be present before people's eyes. It's called aprakata Lila. That means you cannot see him, but he's there. Even today, he's in Vrindavan. He never leaves Vrindavan. In Krishna's expansion, Krishna expands himself, which is not different than him. He expands himself outside of Vrindavan. That's why only in Vrindavan he plays a flute. Only in Vrindavan he has these really intimate devotees, especially unalloyed conjugal love, like that, and really intimate devotees, intimate pastimes, and unexcelled beauty. So therefore there's need of two different plays. You can't have one play and have Vrindavan and also Dwarka and Mathura combined in it. Krishna nyo yadu sambuto yapurna soschata para Vrindavanam parityasya sakvachinaiva gachyati. The Krishna known as Yadu Kumar, that means the son of the Yadu dynasty, is Vasudeva Krishna. He's different from the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yadu Kumar Krishna manifests his pastimes in the cities of Mathura and Dwaraka, and of course also in Hastinapur and a place like that. But Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, never at any time leaves Vrindavan. Remember that. He's there today. You can experience it. Not that you just will see him, but you see him in your heart. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochetena Shantak Shadaiva Ridiyuishu Vilokiyanti. This verse is included in the Lagu Bhagavatamrta 15461 by Srila Rupa Goswami. Etakahi Mahaprabhu Majane Chalila Rupa Goswami Mane Kichu Vismaya Hila. After saying this, Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to perform his noontime duties, leaving Srila Rupa Goswami somewhat surprised. Prithak Nataka Karite Sachabama Dadila Janilu Prithak Nataka Karite Prabhu Agdaila. Satyabhama ordered me to write 2 different dramas, Srila Rupa Goswami thought. Now I understand that this order has been confirmed by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's the same thing that Satyabhama told him in a dream. Purve dvi natakachila ekatra rachana dvi bhaga karyeve karimu gatana. Formerly, I wrote the 2 dramas as one composition. Now I shall divide it and describe the incidents in 2 separate works. Of course, again, that's the Vidagna Madhava and the Lalita Madhava. Dvi nandi prastavana dvi sangatana bitakarya likhi karya bhavana. I shall write 2 separate invocations of good fortune and 2 different introductions. Let me think deeply about the matter and then describe 2 different sets of incidents. The 2 works, as I mentioned before, are the Vidagna Madhava and Lalita Madhava. The Vidagna Madhava describes the pastimes in Vrindavan, and the Lalita Madhava describes the pastimes in Dwarka and Mathura. And I love them both. Especially with the Vidagna Madhava. Anyway, you have the conjugal pastimes. The funny thing is the humor there. You always have Madhu Mangal sticking his nose into things. One point, Nishodamai asked Krishna, "Why are you so late?" coming back from the pasturing grounds. And Madhu Mangal just like said something without thinking. He says, "He was just looking at the girls." And Krishna thinks, or says softly, "Wasn't this fool shut up?" Rata yatraya Jagannatha darshana karila Rata gare prabora nurcha kirtana dekila. During the Ratha Yatra ceremony, Rupa Goswami saw Lord Jagannath. He also saw Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu dancing and chanting in front of the Ratha. Prabhu Ranuchi Shloka Shuni Shri Rupa Goswami Se Shlokarthi Nani Shloka Karila Tatai. When Srila Rupa Goswami heard a verse uttered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the ceremony, he immediately composed another verse dealing with the same subject. Purve se sabakata kariyachi varnana tatapi kariye kahiye kichu shangshepe katana. I've already described all these incidents, but I still wish to add briefly something more. Samanye shloka prabhu godena kirtane kene shloka padeha kehana hi jane. Generally, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited a verse while chanting and dancing, or dancing and chanting, before the Rath, but no one knew why he was reciting that particular verse. Sabayeka Swarupa Goshani Shlokerarta Jane Shukanu Rupa Padavarabuke Karana Ashvadane. Only Swarup Damodar Goswami knew the purpose for which the Lord recited that verse. According to the Lord's attitude, he used to quote other verses to enable the Lord to relish mellows. Rupa Goswami Prabhora Janiya Abhipraya Sayartha Shloka Kaila Prabhure Baya. Rupa Goswami, however, could understand the intention of the Lord, and thus he composed another verse that appealed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yakumara hara seheva hibaras taeva chayathrakshapas te kon mirita maleti surabaya protagadam banayana sajavai sme tatapi tatra surata vyapara lila vido reva rodasi vedasi taru tele cheta samut Kantate. That very personality who stole my heart during my youth is now again my master. This is, of course, Radharani speaking. These are the same moonlight nights, Radharani coming in contact with Krishna at court, etc. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here in Kurukshetra. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the river Riva, under the Vitasi tree. That is my desire. This is the verse recited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of separation, intense longing to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. Priya soyam Krishna sahachari kurushreshta militas tatam saradatadidam vivayo sangama sukham tatapi antakelam madura murali panchamajushe mano me kalindi pulina vipinaya sprihayati. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I'm in the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but I would still like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. This is the verse composed by Srila Rupa Goswami. It is included in the Pajavali 387, an anthology of verses he compiled. Talapatri shloka Liki chalete rakila samudra snana karibe. Rupa Goswami Gela. After writing this verse on a palm leaf, Rupa Goswami put it somewhere in his thatched roof and went to bathe in the sea. Heina kale prabhu aila tanhare minite. Chale shloka deki prabhu lagila paite. At that time, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu went there to meet him, and when he saw the leaf pushed into the roof and saw the verse, he began to read it. Shloka padi prabhu suke prema vishtahila hena kali rupa goshani snanakari haila. After reading the verse, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed by ecstatic love. At that very time, Rupa Goswami returned, having finished bathing in the sea. Prabhu Deki Dandavat Prangane Padila Prabhu Tanre Chapadanari Kahite Lagila. Seeing the Lord, Srila Rupa Goswami fell flat in the courtyard to offer obeisances. The Lord slapped him mildly in love, just mildly, and spoke as follows. Gudamora Hridyatune Janila Kemane Eta Kahi Rupe Kaila Drida Lingane. My heart is very confidential. How did you know my mind in this way? In other words, he paraphrased Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verse that basically no one except for Swarup Damodar Goswami understood. After saying this, he firmly embraced Rupa Goswami. Shei shloka lana prabhu surupe dekaila supera parek shelagi tanhare puchila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took that verse and showed it to Swarup Damodar for him to examine. Then the Lord questioned him. Mora antaravarta rupa janila kemane surupa kahe jani kripa kariyache apane. How could Rupa Goswami have understood my heart, the Lord asked. Swarup Damodar replied, I can understand that you've already bestowed your causeless mercy upon him. Anyatai arthakarana hi hayajnana tumi purve kripa kaila kari anumana. No one could otherwise understand this meaning. I can therefore guess that previously you bestowed upon him your causeless mercy. Prabhu Kai Inho Amaya Prayage Midhita Yogya Patra Jani Inhaya Mora Kripata Haila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, Rupa Goswami met me at Prayag. Remember, that was in the previous part of the Chaitanya Caritamrta. Knowing him to be a suitable person, I naturally bestowed my mercy on him. Tabi Shakti Sanchariyami Kailunapadesha Tumiha Kayo Yirihanya Vasera Vishesha. I thereupon also bestowed upon him my transcendental potency. Now also you should give him instructions, in particular instruct him in transcendental mellows. Surupakaye Yate Shloka Dekilun Tumi Kariya Chakripa Tavanhi Janilu. Swarup Damodar said, as soon as I saw the unique composition of this verse, I could immediately understand that you had bestowed upon him your special mercy. Palina Pala Karanam Anumiyate. By seeing the result, one can understand the cause of that result. So this verse is from the doctrines of Nyaya or logic. In other words, Palina Padachiyate. You see the result of something, you can understand the cause. Swarga Pahema Mrinalinainam Nana Mrinal Agribujo Vajama Ananurupam Tanurupa Hridayam Karyam Nidanad Digunhanadidite. The river Ganges flowing in the heavenly planets is full of golden lotus flowers, and we, the residents of those flowers, eat the stems of the flowers. Thus we are very beautiful. This is due to the laws of the law of cause and effect. For if one eats food in the mode of goodness, the mode of goodness increases the beauty of his body. Very important, you should eat food in the mode of goodness. That way you'll be more attractive, even physically. One's bodily luster and beauty, one's constitutions, one's activities, and one's qualities all depend on the laws of cause and effect. There are three qualities of material nature, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 13:22, one of my favorite verses, Karanamasunga Sangasha, Sadasad Janma Jonishu, one takes birth in a good or bad family according to his previous association with the qualities of material nature. Therefore, one seriously eager to achieve transcendental perfection, Krishna consciousness, must eat Krishna prasadam. Such food is sattvika, or in the material quality of goodness, but when offered uh, to Krishna, it becomes transcendental. Our Krishna conscious movement distributes Krishna prasad, and those who eat such transcendental food are sure to become devotees of the Lord. This is a very scientific method, as stated in this verse from the Nala Naishadha 3:17, Karyam Nidhana Digunan Adite. If in all his activities a person strictly adheres to the mode of goodness, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness and ultimately become a pure devotee of the Lord. Unfortunately, at the present moment, the bodily constitution of the leaders of society, especially the governmental leaders, are polluted, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Asamskrita kriyahina rajasa tamasa vrita prajaste bhakshaya shanti mlecha rajanya rupina. Such leaders have no chance to purify their eating. Politicians meet together and exchange good wishes by drinking liquor, which is so polluted and sinful that naturally drunkards and polluted and sinful no, sorry. And so that naturally drunkards and meat eaters develop a degraded mentality in the mode of ignorance. The processes of eating in different modes are explained in Bhagavad Gita, wherein it is stated that those who eat rice, wheat, vegetables, milk products, fruit, and sugar are situated in the elevated quality of goodness. Therefore, if we want a happy and tranquil political situation, we must select leaders who eat Krishna prasad. Otherwise, the leaders will eat meat and drink wine, and thus they will be asamskritaha, unreformed, and kriyahina, devoid of spiritual behavior. In other words, they will be malechas and yavanas, or men who are unclean in their habits. Though through taxation such men exploit the citizens as much as possible, and in this way they devour the citizens of the state instead of benefiting them. We therefore cannot expect a government to be efficient if it is headed by such unclean malechas and yavanas. Heavy statement. So today we read text 33 to 92, quite a bit. Chapter 1 of the Antya Lila. So let's take some questions here. Ooh, don't have much time. So if you want to ask a question, you can either unmute yourself, or you can type in the window, or you can, raise your hand. So who has a question? Madhava, you have
Hare
a
Krishna
question?
Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. So earlier you were talking about, of course, you said repeatedly several times to really emphasize that Krishna never ever leaves Vrindavan. So my first question is that, first of all, I think I have also, you mentioned before, I want to confirm, Vrindavan includes Mathura, Gokula, Govardhan, all these areas included in when we talk about Vrindavan?
Not Mathura. It
Okay, not
includes Vrindavan and obviously the city of Vrindavan, the 12 forests of Vrindavan. But generally, when we talk about Vrindavan, it doesn't include Mathura, as Prabhupada comments. It's Vasudeva Krishna who goes to Mathura to kill Kamsa.
Okay, so then the next question, when he was going with Akrura to Mathura actually, and then that's where he killed Kamsa and other demons he has been killing out of Vrindavan, then he was doing so in other his expansion?
Yes, his expansion is Vasudeva expansion. Even Prabhupada mentions that when Krishna kills demons in Vrindavan, it's with his Vasudeva expansion. It's not in his original form. Prabhupada even mentioned that in Vrindavan, he sometimes expands as Vasudeva Krishna. I mean, like we see when Krishna was hiding with four arms in the Chaturbhuj form, that was Vasudeva Krishna. Sometimes he hides out from the gopis as Vasudeva Krishna, and sometimes he is killing demons, and he kills demons in his expansion. As Krishna Nandana, he doesn't kill demons. I mean, in other words, he's in a different mood. It's the same Krishna. I mean, Sometimes this gets very confusing, as we've often talked about relating this particular verse from the Brahma Samhita. Advaita Chuta Nadi Rananta Rupa Madhyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindamani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Uh, Relating that particular verse, we understand that there's only one God. In other words, Vasudeva Krishna and Nandanandan are the same person, but it's Krishna in a different mood. Let's just take that way. So not in an intimate mood. Krishna and Vasudeva Krishna, Krishna as Vasudeva Krishna, is not in that intimate mood as he is when he's in the mood of Nandanandana uh, or Gopinath.
So that's what, so original, his mood, original Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Then when he's out, he's in another mood, not a expansion. Is it?
He's in another mood. Expansion. That's called an expansion, another mood. Just to be precisely, ontologically precise, it's Krishna is in a different mood. When we say expansion, because Krishna can be in more than one place at one time. But
Yeah.
Krishna is in Vrindavan. Even today, Krishna, Nandana, is in Vrindavan. It's just that you and I, that's an I, you and I cannot see him, but his presence is there, and you can feel his presence. And I've been in Vrindavan, and I can feel Krishna's presence there. I'm not saying I see Krishna, not that I'm running around. Where are you? Hey, Braja. Hey, Nanda, Braja. Hey, Braja, Nanda. Nanda, now. Where are you? I don't run around like that, but I can feel Krishna's presence. Hmm.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So, okay. So, one more question. All right. Sumuk, you have a question. What's the question?
Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances.
Haribo.
Gurudev, Haribol. Gurudev, you said Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Okay, my question
That's
is,
right.
does he play the flute out of Vrindavan or only in Vrindavan?
No. No, 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 no. No, no. Does not play the flute outside of Vrindavan.
Okay.
I don't care what you see in the Hindi movies. It's not true.
No, no, I don't watch the movie in those movies. Right, yeah. So he doesn't play a
Yeah,
flute out of Vrindavan.
that's right.
Okay.
He doesn't play his flute outside of Vrindavan.
Okay.
Flute is just meant for Vrindavan.
Okay, another question, Gurudev. This flute in Kalyug is it the mridanga?
Yeah, you could say that. Actually, in Kali Yuga, Krishna's instrument is the mridanga,
Okay,
and he plays it. He plays it everywhere.
okay,
In Vrindavan, outside of Vrindavan, in Navadvip, outside of Navadvip, everywhere. Because that's. And then another way that Krishna's flute is called a brihat mridanga. Book
sure.
distribution. That's also Krishna's flute. Yeah, that's also Krishna's flute outside of Vrindavan. So, yes, Lord Chaitanya is kinder than Krishna because Krishna only played his flute in Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya played his mridanga and the printing press everywhere, even in the Malecha Desh, the countries of the Malechas. I mean, they're really low class Malechas. Good question. Okay, good question. So, we have time for one more question. And if there's no more questions, we will end. I guess that's it. Anyway, thank you very. Whoops. Here's a question. Uh, so why do the deities around the world have flutes? Because we're worshiping Radha and Krishna. That's why. And of course, Prabhupada gave the deities names Rukmini Dwarkadish, so the devotees will actually have a mood of what? On reverence when they're approaching the deities. Yeah, Prabhupada also gave the name Radha Paras Ishvara too. That doesn't mean we're going to put an Eiffel Tower on the altar. But the deities are actually Radha Krishna, but we worship them in an awe and reverent mood. We're not worshiping Krishna in Dwarka. Krishna in Dwarka does not. I mean, we do worship Krishna in Dwarka, but on the altar, Prabhupada installed Radha Krishna deities. And when Krishna has a flute, he's in Vrindavan. Because Krishna doesn't play his flute outside of Vrindavan.
But
You can play your flute.
I've heard that Prabhupada said that we worship them as Lakshmi Narayan.
Yeah, you worship them in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. But they're Radha and Krishna. On reverence. You worship them in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. But it's Radha and Krishna, because Lakshmi Narayan does not play a flute, for sure. So, we're going to end now. These are esoteric subject matters, but that's what Prabhupada said. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, and the Vedas say that too. I mean, it's not only me, it's not only Prabhupada, it's the Vedas state that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So we'll end. Thank you very much. We'll see everybody tomorrow. All glorious to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila